And welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
Today we are joined by the man himself, First Class C, aka LA, is
How
in the
you
building.
doing, baby?
And today we're getting into a very monumental album, guys. This is the 6th studio album from Hov, Jay-Z, as you know him. The Blueprint. Very, very monumental album. You know, we know the singles that came from this thing. We got Izzo, Song Cry, Takeover. Well, yeah, was Takeover a single?
Yeah. No, it wasn't a single. It was
played on the radio.
It was premiered at Summer Jam.
It was, yeah, that's true. So there's a lot of fan lore around this album, of course, with it being produced heavily by Kanye West and Just Blaze. Literally.
And Bank. We can't leave Bank.
And Bank. Shout out to Bank. Them literally fighting over placement for this. Hearing the stories about, not literally, but the competition was heavy to get placement on this album. I always like hearing about that. As we go by this marking the 20th anniversary a few days ago for this album, it's managed to stay in the conversation for its importance, and it's only rising, right? In importance on that level and in his catalog. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know, in 2021, how are we feeling about the Blueprint?
Okay,
I'll start with you.
I'm gonna start it off, right? You know, I took a lot of notes. I took notes. I wrote a lot and everything. So it's weird. 15-year-old Taurian, 35-year-old Taurian. At 15, that summer was insane. Fuck you, listen. So that summer was a crazy summer because Jay-Z was on, like, every summer he dropped, you know, a summer banger. Every summer, you know, Roc-A-Fella had stuff going on. So it was, you know, Diddy had the all-white party July 4th, so everybody knew about that, right? And then they started doing the baseball game every summer. So, like, it was just like a really big. He always had, Jay-Z's name was always in the news and stuff like that, right? So at the time of this album, it was fresh off of him getting charged with stabbing Un, mm-hmm. and him getting the gun charge, but I think his security guard wound up taking it, right? So Jay-Z was just like in the news, and think about it, he was actually kind of cold at the time. Like, he was getting like very bad like reviews. So like there was like one review where they said that basically Jay-Z was doing the same thing as Nas, just living off of his credibility from when he first came out. Hmm. And this album was supposed to be like Jay's, like, you know, return to form. So this is why, like, they were saying like this album's a classic, because he was so focused and he worked with all new producers. So I say all that to say, my thoughts on the album from when I was 15 till now have changed because I was able to watch Jay-Z progress and grow. Let's take an example. If I listen to a Rakim album, I still see Rakim the same way that I saw him in '86, even though he's older or something like that. You know, well, not something like that. Even though he's older, I still look at him as that same Rakim. Jay-Z doesn't even have the same hair. So, and knowing that we got 444, knowing that he's a married man, knowing that he doesn't even perform 50% of these songs that's from this album on tour, it gives me a different perspective, and it makes me like, there's so many cringe-worthy moments on this album with some of his lyrics. I'm just like, damn, I don't know if I love this album as much as I did when I was 15 years old. And I don't think Jay does either. I think he, you know, I mean, everybody knows I'm a reasonable doubt guy all day. But I think that we're going to discover that the Blueprint hasn't aged that well. That it's like a time capsule. That it's not a timeless classic.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I see Rob over here giving me the eye, but Sean Corey Carter, if you play that shit in front of Blue, he's going to tell you to turn that shit the fuck off.
Interesting. All right, so right off of that point, I want to go into how you feel about it because I had something that I wanted to say to that, but I want you to share what you're reflecting.
So as someone who enjoys music, right? There's your introduction point to somebody, and then you do your back end research. I think the Blueprint was my introduction to Jay. So I was 10 years old when the Blueprint came out, so I was able to come home from school, see 106 in Park and all that stuff, music videos, things of that nature. So I was introduced to Jay. I think, like, fully understood who he was, like, knew his voice, who he was around this time. Right? Cool.
When left, I was introduced to Jay when I was 10 years old as well, in 1996.
86, but...
No. But what I'm saying is you see...
Yeah, but my 10 and your 10 was different.
Why?
It was 2001.
Yeah. It was different. Different.
My 10 was 2001. Like, the world is, you know what I'm saying? It's totally different. You didn't, held the block down and all of that.
I did not do that.
I had a Razor scooter. we traveled on the block differently. You used a different type of Razor.
It was a different time, but
exactly.
Continue.
So yeah, I'm now introduced to music. So
you used a different type of Razor. That's funny. All right, go ahead.
But to me, I thought. So my understanding of music was shaped differently because I think I was now introduced to like radio rap. So I only knew somebody based off how heavy their singles were. I had to do research on what a B-side was, but off the rip, this Blueprint, to me, is what I thought every rap album was supposed to sound like after.
So you held this as a standard?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my standard album.
That's a good assessment.
At 10 years old.
I think that's actually very good.
If it didn't sound like this after, it was trash. Or if it was close to it, this is cool. Until I was able to understand, like, everybody's different. Like, now I'm at the point where I could consume music without getting in trouble. Because, I used to sneak and listen to Lil' Kim's album and shit like that because my parents was jacking that. Mm-hmm. But now it's like, okay, now I can enjoy music for what it was. So that shaped how I gauged music until I got older. Thank God for LimeWire. You was able to, like, download everybody's catalog just like that.
Yeah. Then
it was like, okay, now I see why Reasonable Doubt is so revered. But to me, I enjoyed Blueprint more because, in a sense, I lived with it. Yeah. It's like Reasonable Doubt, I had to do research, so it's like, oh shoot, this was dope, but I didn't get to feel it.
Yeah.
This I really got to feel, like really, really feel it. And long story short, my mother used to work in Times Square. I mean, where the towers were, right? But she was supposed to leave earlier, but I asked her to pick up the CD for me. So she left work.
Jay-Z saved your mother's life.
And I don't want to give it. I know we call the nigga home waiting.
Shout out to the God MC.
But it was like, yo,
shout out to the God.
She left a little bit earlier to pick up the CD for me. So, because of that, she was able to dodge all that mayhem that happened that day. So that's why the Blueprint kind of like, I really fuck with it.
And of course, we'd be remiss, and you just hinted towards it, like, and I didn't mention it in the intro, but this did come out on September 11th.
Yeah.
Along with Ghetto Fabulous too.
Facts.
Ghetto Fabulous dropped that same day. I think he debuted at number 3 with some respectable numbers of his
Ryan
own.
Carey dropped Glitter.
Glitter dropped that day for the soundtrack.
You know what was crazy about Fab too? Being young, I thought Fab and Tracy McGrady was the same person. Because of the NBA Live.
I one up you. I thought Rasheed Wallace and Joe Budden were the same person.
I thought so too.
Yeah. So because of NBA Live 03, Fab was kind of heavy on the soundtrack. So I thought Fab and Mac was the same because I think he used
a metaphor,
and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, don't worry. We were there.
But this album, from my understanding, if I remember correctly, it had 2 or 3 different release dates. I think it was the 25th at first, September 25th. Then it got moved up to September 18th. Then it got moved up to September 11th. And that was because of the leaks. Because all the Hove albums up until that point were coming out prematurely. A lot of albums around this time in the early 2000s was coming out prematurely. Like I know I had a bootleg of the Dynasty when that came out,
Mm.
so I remember that. And then Blueprint was leaked, obviously, because you had Takeover on this album.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so Takeover was like a real heater.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when it leaked, it didn't have the whole fourth verse on
Yeah,
there.
it didn't.
It just had the three.
At Summer Jam, he literally just had the and you know who did you know what or whatever, like that bar. So he had that bar and like he ended it, but then he added more onto it later on.
Yeah, and then he ended it with Ask Nas, he don't want it with Hov, and everybody was like, whoa.
So let's just get this out the way. Let's talk about the lore of this album. People say that he recorded 7 songs in 7 days. It is recognized by the Library of Congress for its artistic brilliance. It was Kanye's coming out party, right? It has one feature by Eminem that some people say is one of the greatest features of all time because
That's
of what
me.
he did.
I say that.
Yeah, me too.
Because he out-raps Hov, even though Hov had the song. Like, he had the verse, and then he had a chance to, like, go in there and give his best rap, and people feel that M still, like, out-raps him.
Yeah, and the song originally had Royce the 5'9" on it.
Facts.
And they, he got taken off.
Hov said take that
and it got Mr. Sean Carter on it. But was that it for the lore that you were mentioning?
Oh no, and then the other lore is that he pretty much wreaked havoc on all of Queens.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
He wreaked havoc on all of Queens. Shout out to Quincy, and he pretty much said that. He pretty much came out and said, he basically made it uncool to like Nas and Mobb Deep for a small period of time. Like, he came out and made fun. Okay, so this is what I wanted to get to. This is what Jay-Z did to basically like come down and say that like he's the man, right? So at this time, you have Nelly, you have Ludacris, you have Outkast, and I'm forgetting and Eminem are the biggest rappers out, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're always on TRL. Like, that's how you could like gauge it, right? In my opinion, if you're a rapper and your music's on TRL, you're like the creme de la creme, right? And I think like Jay even has like a verse where he says only rappers move in unison. Me, Pimp Juice. Only rappers move in unison. And Pimp Juice and us.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't mention Outkast, but Outkast was also in that category, right? At Summer Jam, he makes fun of Prodigy for loving Michael Jackson and imitating Michael Jackson, calling him Twinkle Toes. He does a little freestyle calls him Twinkle Toes. And then has the fucking King of Pop come out at Summer Jam and wave to the crowd. I think, personally, that made him the undisputed king of New York. I know some people were like, oh, after Biggie died, I think that he was going for it.
Yeah.
And he was still like a New York rapper, and he was trying to, he had crossover hits and things were coming up. But I personally think what made him crowned the king of rap, king of New York, whatever you want to call it, is him bringing Michael Jackson out on the Summer Jam stage and then having a guest verse on You Rock My World.
Oh yeah.
Like, it solidified like, okay, Michael Jackson knows who he is.
It's a defining moment.
It's a defining moment, and he's like one of the best rappers. Like, he could have got Nelly, he could have got Ludacris, he could have got Outkast, he could have got Eminem. Well, he probably wouldn't. Him and Eminem had their own like back and forth. But what I'm just saying is that it was like him kind of like crowning Jay-Z as the best. That's my thing about the lore of this album. It was so many things that happened around this album that had nothing to do with Jay before you even listen to the music. And people were saying, like, I think, and I really give Dame Dash credit. They were calling this album a classic before, like, the entire summer. You got to think about it. We had the entire summer, every interview Dame had, he was like, yo, Jay-Z's the best. Yeah, Biggie rapped off the top of the head, but Jay does it too. He recorded 7 songs. Like, they just kept talking about that, how Jay recorded
7 songs and
and then they started going, and they were like, he recorded the entire album in a weekend. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it caused like a lore. So like, it was like they pretty much told everybody that the album was great before they got it. Now, the album was great. I'm not saying that the album, please understand like that what I'm going to get to by the end of this episode is that the album is great, right? But you have timeless great albums, and you have certain albums that are a timestamp. And I just want to make sure that I make that clear. I don't want no backlash. I don't want no smoke.
Okay. So I don't know. How do we want to do this? Do you guys want to, since this is a special album, do we want to go track for track? Or do you want to pick out your highlights and pick out like what you...
I think we can go highlights.
Okay. All right, so off the top, I guess you got to start from the top with this, because I really enjoy The Ruler's Back as an intro. Produced by Bink. Just the way that it comes on, it grabs your attention immediately. I think it is one of his finer intros that doesn't get mentioned enough. I think when people talk about Hove intros, you get the obvious. They go to Dynasty.
Shit's so trash.
What?
Yeah. He didn't say nothing on it. I think the beat is what got everybody. The beat is amazing. One of the greatest beats in hip hop. But what he said on there.
But trash?
Okay, trash is not a good word. You're right.
It's not.
You want to know what it is?
I'm sorry.
Because you were 8 when it dropped. So
you're right. And you were 28. So you experienced
I was
it different.
13.
You experienced it different. You lived the life. You lived the full life.
Me and Regg were 13 when it Dynasty dropped.
I was 13.
But I think it's overhyped. I think it's just the beat is what got everybody excited. But what was the
It's a great build-up. Only songs I read was on the arms of my niggas. Like, what you talking about?
That was tough.
It's a tough.
That was a tough line. It wasn't a tough song.
All right, man.
That man said, "I made it a hot line, and you made it a hot line. I made it a hot song." That was a hot line. It wasn't a hot song.
Bro, the intro is one of the greatest intros. Like,
because of the beat.
They've been arguing.
Because of the
whole package, bro.
It's not.
I
don't jack that. I'm
all
sorry.
Right, cool. We're talking about Blueprint right now, so it's fine. It's all good.
I think The Ruler's Back is a better intro.
That's fine. Go ahead, Regg. You were listening to something.
So The Ruler's Back, obviously, and then Takeover. Takeover was Kanye's shining moment, right? There's like, I mean, I wasn't even familiar with the
Doors,
the sample, with the Doors sample, till years later, because I just wasn't checking for that type of music yet. So like that sample, it kind of opened up all different types of shit. Doors for me.
You know what I was impressed with? How Kanye was able to make that beat, right? And still work with Nas. And Ron Browns get no love.
I'm gonna tell you the difference.
Because it's kind of
tell you the difference.
You grew up with him, right?
No. I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. Kanye West was the main man. And he was, and no matter what, anything that Kanye did, Jay made money off of. Ron Browns was a timestamp producer.
But at the time, no. But we're talking about Ron 2001 though.
But
right?
I'm just saying. But Jay knew that. Jay was like, "All right, you hot right now. I'm gonna make sure that you don't have a future." But like with Kanye, like you got to think about it. Kanye was a made man already. Like Kanye had gave him some of his greatest music, and they were actually friends. And like and
no, but I'm saying Kanye was able to take over and still work with Nas and still flourish.
I think because people knew that Kanye wasn't with that, like he wasn't a part of shit.
And it
like
wasn't
that.
right away. It was years later. What was that? Hip Hop is Dead. That Nas
No, because
We Major.
We Major was
registration.
Late registration.
Yeah, but wasn't that like the same year?
No, late registration was
2005.
2005.
Yeah. So I think Hip Hop is Dead was 2006.
Well, I mean, by the time Hip Hop is Dead, they pieced it up.
Yeah.
No,
I'm just saying that if you talk about two producers
technically, if you think about it, Kanye didn't work with him until him and Jay pieced it up.
Yeah. Okay. Nobody working with Ron. Okay, shout out to Ron.
Well, I guess we can. I know how you feel about Izzo. Have you always hated Izzo?
Yeah.
Nah, that shit was great.
Izzo was great. I was annoying.
Izzo. That shit was great to me.
I remember when he premiered Izzo. He premiered Izzo at the BET Awards.
It was an MTV. I thought it was MTV.
Nah, the BET Awards.
With the Jordan jersey.
Yeah, it was the first BET Awards.
That shit was amazing.
And he was like, "Yo, I got this record or whatever," and he like dropped it. And everybody was like, "Yo, what? Like, what is this?" And I was hooked from then. I was like, "Yo, I need this."
That's
and then,
still a big risk in music. Premiere
premiere a song at your performance. Yeah, because you don't know, the crowd don't know what the fuck you're doing. So I like the sample. It was safe. It sounded good,
bro. It was the safest shit ever. And then also like he's attaching himself to greatness again. So I get what was happening, right? And then it was smart because it was a song that like is one of the most. It sampled one of the Jackson 5's most popular songs ever. So when people hear it, it's a recognizable song. So you want to hear it. It kind of forces you to listen to it. That's why some people say like sampling is like the cheat code. And pretty much a lot of that's what Kanye does. So like it gets him a lot of like leeway, not like discrediting him, but you know he's attaching himself to Michael Jackson again. So I'm just trying to I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just telling you like there's a pattern here, and you're gonna see it throughout the album about what he's doing because it's the same thing that Michael Jackson kind of did with Prince, what he did as far as like establishing himself against Nas.
That's what Drake is doing now with Michael Jackson. He's been mentioning Michael Jackson a lot.
Yeah. Tootsie Slide is definitely a Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson
was about the moonwalk. It was about the moonwalk. The instructions is the moonwalk, but the guy named Tootsie did a video on TikTok and it went viral, so then he gave it. The song is about the moonwalk.
I see it now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I see it
Tootsie
now.
Slide is literally about the moonwalk.
Alright, that's cool.
I see it now. Girls, Girls, Girls
That shit
was produced by Just Blaze, and it's actually one of the first feel-good moments that I remember at like post 9/11. Because I remember the video premiering, and I was like, "Yo, this is like." It just felt good. Like I just remember that feeling of watching the video. To this day, it's one of my favorite videos because I like always play it back to that moment when I first saw it. It's just a great video.
I hate to burst your bubble, Reg, but this song wouldn't fly today.
No, it wouldn't.
Everybody from that generation music. We can't say that.
It could fly today.
No, the fuck, it could not. Not that exactly.
Not from him, but why not?
But he talks about different type of women.
Yeah.
And the beauty of it. You can flip the narrative.
The only thing that probably wouldn't fly that people will have a problem with is the Eddie Murphy lyrics where he's talking about the girl.
The Eddie Murphy lyrics, the Indian chick, the one that keeps stealing. What are you talking about? Like,
yeah. Because of the times we in it, hypersensitive.
So he, you know, what I'm saying if he talks about the narcolepsy one, oh my god, you making fun of people with narcolepsy? Like,
it would have been ripped apart. It would have been
in the video she goes like this. He tied some shit to the back of her head and like pulled her up. I guess not, but for my time, guys, it was great.
Timestamp.
It was great. Shit, Jigga That Nigga, I never really cared for this song. This was always my skip on this album.
And it's crazy because he actually was against doing a song with
his name
in it. He actually didn't want to do that, but you know, Tone and Pope, they just convinced him. And this is a Tone and Pope beat, so we should already know that these niggas failed to him, man. Tone and Pope are like they're overhyped to me as far as like their production.
Yeah, they are.
Poke and Tone, like
they got some good shit. They
got some good shit, but like they shit is dated, and I think like they're overhyped. I think it is more so Steve Stout's power behind them, pushing it that like they're oh my god they're such great. No, the fuck they're not. They're not that good. And look what they did. They made Jay-Z do this stupid song.
I think it was the purpose of this song. I think it was to use it as a single. It just sounds so obvious, though. I hate when singles are like that. It's just so fucking obvious.
Yeah. Or they went into the studio with the mindset, yo, we gotta create a single.
Exactly.
Yeah, one of
that.
those.
I get that from this song.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Taught me a lot about money, boy.
You don't know.
So you don't know. And Just Blaze said this himself. He said that You Don't Know is probably one of the greatest Jay-Z songs ever because you can put on You Don't Know at a party and like they go crazy. Didn't he say that he usually starts off his sets with You Don't Know? No, he starts it off PSA. He starts it off with PSA, but he said that You Don't Know is always in his set. Because like when he starts breaking down like his money. Like how he like you know or just like using his metaphors like he was just like at his like peak. I think You Don't Know is like one of those like quintessential like Jay-Z songs that he always has to perform it. If he doesn't perform You Don't Know, I'm disappointed.
He argues with himself at the beginning of every verse. It's so great.
Nah,
you don't know what you do. Put something on it. Like just and then he goes into it.
Song in his career.
I like that. Right? I like that you peeped that. Right?
Yeah, it's great. I fucking love that.
You can't knock that, boy. You can't knock that.
Yes, sir.
You are looking at one smart black boy.
No man, raise no fool.
Put me on it. Oh my
Triple unfortunate.
My word.
That was crazy.
Yes.
Because you gotta think about it. I'm 10, right? So I'm able to make the club or whatever around 17, 18. So 7 years later, 8 years later, the song is still as strong.
Yeah.
Dang.
Water to a well? That blew my mind back then.
Yeah. I was like, yo, this guy is crazy.
How much whales need water?
For real.
That shit wild. Well, I guess there's no way to review this album without going track for track. We're just doing that at this point.
Yeah.
But Ola Jovito is another one that I'm not that crazy about.
And guess who gave him that song?
Timbaland, produced by Timbaland.
All right, so let's talk about it. Timbaland has a blind idea of what he gives Jay-Z for his albums.
Timbaland's songs, I will say, Timbaland's songs with Hov don't age that well. Because Dirt Over Your Shoulder was my shit back then, and I can't listen to it anymore. I just can't. But I still like Hey Poppy. That one hasn't been commercialized like that.
Hey Poppy is
Hey Poppy is my shit.
And then when he did Is That Your Chick, like that
song can't survive now.
Huh? That song can't survive now, but I still listen to it. But
and Big Pimpin'.
And Big Pimpin', right?
True.
But all right, Magna Carta, Holy Grail. It depends on the day. Is one side special. I love it or I hate it.
Yeah.
But Timbaland kind of like was leading the charge on Magna Carta.
He was, and I still say Time 4 is one of the worst songs ever made.
I just think Hola Jovito is just annoying, bro. It's just annoying. It's loud, and I don't know what.
But Hov is spitting some shit on that song.
He is spitting. It's just wasted bars. Like I just wish it was on different productions.
I've always said that. I've always said that with features, though. Like, you ever heard an artist spit some crazy shit on a feature? Me, my selfish ass, I'd have spit it, heard it back. Nah, I gotta keep this. I'm right second notes. That's how I feel about certain features. Like, yo, you gave this verse to who? Nah.
But I think the thought behind it is, yo, I'm gonna watch you on your shit.
Probably. Yeah.
Niggas just going, because I think that's
if I watch you too good, nah, this gotta come back with me.
That's 07 Wayne all day.
Yeah.
07 Wayne, Fabulous at one point. Fabulous.
Facts.
02 to 05, Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fab had a great
a lot of that too. Fab features and Fab freestyles. I was like, damn, you should have canned that for an album. That was too good.
He was a shining star for real. But we'll get into Heart of the City. Heart of the City is produced by Kanye West, and I think it's the center point of this album.
It's my favorite
right?
song.
Heart of the City, and around this time, it was put in a lot of different promos. This still gets put in promos.
I think I was brainwashed. Is there any correlation between this and Batman?
No, you're thinking about R. Kelly's Bad Man song.
Oh, bad. I'm a bad. Yeah, I don't want to get caught out there singing.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
But it gives me like Bruce Wayne.
For which Batman movie was that he did the soundtrack for?
That was Forever, I think.
For Batman Forever?
Yeah, it had to be. I think.
Yeah,
no, Forever was Seal.
Yeah, Seal was Kiss. Was that the same album?
Kiss from
a Rose and I'm a Batman was on the same album, I think.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm a Batman is from Shaft? You had to correct this.
Really?
I'm a Batman.
That's him. He's singing that.
That's Shaft.
Okay, so I just got a little confused. It's all right, Rob. It's cool.
Well,
but I'm it's all right. And anyway, I'm gonna edit this out so you won't be right in front of everybody anyway. So
good job.
Actually, I'll keep it. It's pretty funny that we.
Well, no, he did a song called Gotham City for Batman.
Okay.
And Robin.
Yes.
On TP2.
Yeah, it's called Gotham City. That was
Gotham City is not on
Robin.
TP2.com. Batman and Robin didn't come out in 2001. He did it. Now you're wrong. Ha, I got you back that quick. Thanks a lot, Rob.
But yeah, bro, it gave me like superhero vibes. It gave me like that shit was historic. I can listen to that song now and feel it.
It's such a great song.
Yeah.
Yo, and the sample is fucking amazing. Like it's like David Ruffin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I just think I just always wonder like as far as like Kanye's crate digging because like Kanye is so like futuristic, right? And Kanye is a futurist, but like he also loves soul samples.
Yeah,
and obviously he was raised off of that. Like Jay and Kanye, I believe that's how they bonded because like both of their parents had large music collections. They both talk about it a lot, right? But it's like I can't even like picture Kanye crate digging because of like how much like how he doesn't look like now because he's so rich and he's always portrayed himself as so rich and like above doing certain things.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of like crate digging and like looking for like albums going to like a shop, I wonder like does Kanye like remember songs from his childhood that his mother played, or like just has an idea, or is he like actually like probably like sending his assistants out to do the crate, like just bring him music?
I think at this point in his career, then I think it started out where all right. So let's talk about this moment then.
Do you think that Kanye? Do you think like Kanye was like
Yeah.
Was digging? Yes, because he had something to prove, and he was trying to outsource Just Blaze.
I mean,
they was back and forth in the studio. He was trying to get placement.
Right. So
even the way he dresses, or he's into fabric and material. That's the kind of same aesthetic as crate digging.
I agree.
Because you got to know the material, you got to know how to wear it, to put it together. So I figured if he could do all of that into his fashion sense, he probably did the research and the same type of homework. Because crate digging is a part of it, right? So if you want to feel like a true producer at the time, you had to do certain things. Or back in the days, you wasn't a real DJ if you wasn't bringing in a whole bunch of crates and shit like that and spin on. So I feel like at that time, he had something to prove. So he had to prove that he was knowledgeable on certain things. So I feel like he did it. He may not do it now, but then I'm pretty sure he did it.
Okay. I guess I just think about that sometimes. Cause I'm just like, yo, man, like his beat selection is so good and it's so prominent. Like, especially, and you could tell that he was really a student of Dilla, and that YD did a really good job at like teaching him a lot of things. So it's just really cool to me that like when he gets on.
Was No ID in his life around this time?
Yeah, No ID is like the reason why he got his shot.
Yeah,
like the reason that like No ID brought him into the Roc-A-Fella camp. Yeah, so. I just think that is really dope that like he makes some of the lyrics sound like a part of the song. It's very good that he does that.
And the way he mixes that is insane. I mean, I know niggas didn't really like Jock and Jay-Z, but I always thought that was very impressive about that beat.
Yo, I was
he made that sound like he's actually saying Jock and Jay-Z. Like, that's incredible mixing.
I don't know if Eli remembers this shit. I don't think Reg was working with us at Levi's yet. Eli was there. When that shit came out, me and Christian Garcia used to play that shit so much, Felix just stopped coming into the stock room to work. We all worked in the stock room. Felix wouldn't come down in no more. We were playing that shit. It was either Jock and Jay-Z or Swagger Like Us, and he just would not fuck with it. He would not come downstairs. Yes, they did. But at that time, we was playing that shit. What up, Garcia? What up, baby? I just had to say that real quick.
Yeah, Jock and Jay-Z was very impressive production. But yeah, that carries us into Never Change, right? Never Change is like on the same field of play as Heart of the City. I always like this. To this day, this is like a top 2 back-to-back hit. Like, this is just amazing. Never Change is some of Kanye's best production for sure.
Nah, it is. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, Never Change is the sample for David Ruffin.
You did say that for Heart of the City, yeah.
It wasn't for Heart of the City. I'm sorry. Heart of the City was Bobby Blue Bland, right?
Pull that up right now.
I feel like after Heart of the City, the album just took on another life.
It does, but
like nothing was off after this. It was like he couldn't miss. Because every classic album to me has a good head crack.
Bobby Blue Bland. Yeah.
Every good album to me has a good head crack. Where a song is like 4, 5, 6. Usually that's where it is. Track 4, 5, 6 or 5, 6, 7. Where it's like 3 strong records back to back that this album's But after Heart of the City,
off.
It was like you just break out of traffic and you just go. You just press the gas.
So let me ask y'all a question. Who of the 3 main producers on the album, Bank, Just Blaze, and Kanye? Kanye busted both of their asses?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
I've heard some people say that they feel that Just Blaze has the better production.
No.
Just Blaze was he's up there though. Just Blaze got You Don't Know on here. You Don't Know is like that's that's the aggressive. Does
that one song beat everything else?
Well, no, but you got I love the Girls beat. The sample on it is so clean. It sounds like a Kanye producer.
I have to admit, I prefer Kanye's version of Girls.
Oh, the second part 2? Part 2 is so good.
I hate all his part 2s.
What? So you don't like I'm turning girls out. Girls.
No.
He did the same thing on Reasonable Doubt. What was the part
And
two?
President's Part 2.
Oh my God.
What do you mean? Oh my God! The President's Part 2.
No.
What's
What's the last song on Reasonable Doubt?
You have Regrets. Is it Regrets?
I can look it up right now.
Yeah, look it up. I believe it's Regrets.
I don't know, man. But when you
Oh,
think
you're talking
about
about
it,
Coming of Age and Coming of Age Part 2.
No, Coming of Age Part 2 is my favorite Jay-Z song.
So I don't know what you're talking about because Coming of Age is
hold on. I don't know why you get that situated though. I'm looking at this run that Just Blaze has on this album, and it's not to be fucked with. Like it's up there. It's not as easy. Oh,
I hate that shit.
How you hate Can I Live Part 2?
I don't like it. I don't like Can I Live Part 2, and I don't like Girls Part 2. I just
All right, that's
because the original one is so great. It's like, yo, why would you even? I hate both of them.
But that's why they gotta try it out, you know.
Can't.
But no. Getting back to your original question, I'm looking. So Just Blaze has You Don't Know, Song Cry, and Girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's like his
His
three.
three.
What's Kanye's 3?
Kanye got Izzo.
Takeover.
Mm-hmm.
A Heart of the City, Never Change.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. His pack was better. Clearly because of how many beats.
So we not gonna give Bank no credit.
Yeah, we should because he's always.
They got All I Need. I love All I Need.
All I Need.
That's one of my favorite vacation
me.
records.
Yeah, All I Need, Mama Loves Me, and those are the only two he got. Oh, and he got the intro and the Rules Back. Your favorite intro.
I don't think it beats Kanye though. Kanye came to play.
Kanye and Just Blaze for me were neck and neck, but I feel like the three of them did a really good job. I would love for Jay to work with the three of them again.
Yeah, I don't know why.
You think Kanye still got it?
Did you not hit Donda? Yes, he still has it. Crazy.
He still has it.
Yeah.
Did you? How did you feel about Daytona? I know you don't really care about Pusha T, but
Who's that?
There you go.
you baited him on that. Though.
There you go.
You baited him on that.
I like NASCAR.
Listen, man. Just come on. So are we up to Song Cry yet?
We can get into Song Cry now.
All
Song
right.
Cry, produced by Kanye West, of course.
Yo, you saw what they did to him for 444. What you think they're gonna do to him for Song Cry today?
Yeah, I don't think he performs this anymore.
Bro.
He does.
I don't think he will.
With Mary J. Blige, he does.
Yeah, but that's in the
he doesn't.
past. I don't think he will.
I saw I went to the last two tours that Jay-Z did. He does not perform Song Cry, and it will be with his wife, not with Mary J. Blige. What you mean, okay? I went to his last two performances. I went to the 444 tour, and I went to On the Run 2 tour. He doesn't perform. That's all.
I don't feel like he... I'm not on this episode. You shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but you're wrong.
But what's wrong with Song Cry?
Well, it's very toxic. You don't hear the last third verse?
Everything to a lot of people is just very sensitive now, and everybody gets mad about it. So basically, Jay-Z is admitting that like he was toxic. Think about it like this:
But that's what Drake does right now.
It's not,
Drake,
but it's
Drake
Drake. He's not married to Beyonce. Knows Drake. Jay-Z has a lyric on the 444 album when he said, when I asked you to go study, I told you don't embarrass me." Women ripped Jay-Z apart for saying that shit.
I don't think he says anything wrong with Song Cry.
Of course you don't. Eli, look at
It's
you.
one of my favorite.
I'm a man with
It's one of my
pride. You don't do
favorites.
shit like that. You don't just pick up and leave me sick like that.
Yo,
You don't
Eli,
go with what
And what's wrong with that?
I was just about to
fucking
say.
them girls. I was going to get right back.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah,
All right,
Eli,
so
this
we
is
gonna
why
go to
you
the next
fucking
song.
sample.
No. But this is a song about him admitting his I guess his love to a girl.
Yeah.
So he's just outing himself out. He outing himself out.
Yeah, that's what 444 was.
So what's the problem?
I'm with Eli, bro.
And it's still a classic song to
Yeah,
this
I
day.
know it is
It's
a
a
classic
classic
song,
song.
but what we're saying is he will get ripped. But I do understand that you don't see that play. But I know that you're gonna make a young lady very happy. But when y'all going through it and you could be like, "Yo, T, I need to talk to you right quick," I'll be like, "Remember that day when you told me you don't see a problem with Song Cry in today's era? Me and you gonna have that
I still
talk."
don't see anything wrong with that.
It's all right, and you know what, LaShawn? You probably not gonna talk to me about your relationship, but I'm gonna see it on your face, and I'm gonna tell you, LaShawn, remember that day you told me you don't see nothing wrong in today's era of Song Cry?
Listen.
Okay.
Well,
I don't see the. I know we're in a sensitive time where you gotta be very delicate of what you say. But Song Cry, I don't think is one of those songs.
It's just a toxic
It's not.
song.
You got Future and Drake.
And
Bro,
Future
look at the image of these guys that you're naming.
they're called toxic
Shit,
men.
Jay-Z was worse in my
But
opinion.
damn near,
He was.
but Hov was damn near a pop rapper.
No, he was not. And watch your mouth. Now go to the next one.
But I'm okay.
All right, so for the next song, we got "All I Need," which is one of my
Classic
personal favorite songs on this album,
Classic rap.
produced by Bank.
Yeah.
I love me a good crew song
Has
that doesn't
he
have the
ever-
crew.
Has he ever rapped this song live? I've never heard him do it live.
I don't think so. Not
Did
even
you go
at
to the
B-sides.
B-side? Yeah.
I don't think he did it at B-sides. I watched
I
B-sides.
wasn't in attendance, but I don't think he did it. Actually, no, I listened to it because I have it on the Elliot Wilson made the playlist. He didn't before.
I don't think he did All I Need,
But
but
that's a great record.
All I Need is very crew heavy. So like with the name drops.
Yeah.
So I don't think he will be doing that today. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think
Yo,
he's
this
good with all these
this
niggas.
song changed my my whole mindset of like
My bucket is low. My Roc-A-Fella is fitting incredible.
I think the way I dress is heavily influenced by this album.
you out here wearing football jerseys,
Nah, but
and
like
big jeans.
the music when I get dressed, there's certain songs, there's certain artists that I play while getting ready.
Mhm.
This is one of those albums. God Forgives I Don't by Ross is one of those albums. It's like you feel rich.
Yeah.
And you love to feel rich and look rich.
Feel
You
rich,
love it.
right? And All I Need embodies that.
Yeah.
That rich sound and like, yo, I look like this record.
Imagine if Ross was out around this time.
Oh,
he
wow.
would- my
Ross.
God. This beat, Ross on this beat, would have
I
been.
want to know why he just ain't fucking just
Yeah.
do it on a mixtape.
Yeah,
Ross on
luxury-
this beat.
Yeah, I got a thing for luxury rap. That's what I call it, luxury rap.
Yeah.
Where you can only get it at a certain store, a certain price point, and it feels good, it looks good, it sounds good. It's like it's one of those records where you kind of create your own world, your own universe, listening to the music,
Mhm.
and that's what All I Need is.
All I need is that's a perfect description. It's one of like
And then it made
My
me
core
think
favorites.
as a 10-year-old, what do I need in life?
Oh god.
I mean, by then you was already 30, bro. So it was like you had your foundation set. You knew you needed a solid woman in your life, a great job.
he didn't
whatever.
need much, and he was what 32.
No, I was talking about Taurian.
Alright, so listen, we're gonna get into Renegade right now. We're getting into Renegade.
Nah, for All I Need, he didn't need much. He Roc-A-Fella,
Yeah.
Nike is.
Simplicity of life.
Yeah,
That's what it
it
told
was
me.
just great.
Yeah, make
Couple
life
chicks.
as simple.
Let's
Yeah,
ride.
you know what I'm saying?
That's it. But
Let's get into the
we'll
next
get
one.
into Renegade.
Smoke record.
Renegade features Eminem. It's produced by Eminem.
Detroit, what?
What do we think?
I got into a lot of debates. This was like pre who's better, Kobe and LeBron. That's what this meant. This debate on this song started so many arguments in group chats,
Mhm.
lunch tables. People that got suspended over this.
You had group chats when this came out?
Yeah, man.
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure somebody done died over this debate. To this day, I give Eminem the upper because you already. It's kind of like you guys play spades.
Yeah, please.
It's like showing somebody your hand and still winning.
Mm-hmm.
That's
That's
how I
exactly
feel.
what it is.
That's how I feel this record is. It's like I could beat you with you looking at my hands. You don't gotta look up at the mirror to see what. Or you play dominoes. I could have my whole hand in front of you.
Everything
And you
that
can't
made
stop me.
everything that made these verses so great from Eminem. Like I was listening to this
It's
again the
because
other
he's
day.
white.
No,
No,
Yo, bro, you know how many
Perspective-
bro,
perspective-
don't do that. Don't do that.
Nah, I'm
perspective
saying-
is important, right?
Yo, bro, how many times like was this? So, all right, on Life's a Bitch, AZ gets Nas on Nas's debut album. Nas is hailed as the greatest rapper or like all time at the time, right? When Illmatic drops,
Mhm.
right? Nobody bats out. They just say, yo, that was a dope verse of AZ, right?
You think AZ won on that record? On Life's a Bitch?
Absolutely, he definitely watched Nas on Life's a Bitch.
But I hear that's not like not heard of. I hear that people say that.
yeah, like AZ, like that literally launched AZ's career. Life's a Bitch is why he got his solo deal because they were like, yo, got on one of the most anticipated rap albums of all time,
Okay.
and watched this man.
But
Right?
you made this a race thing.
I'm gonna tell you why. So
Yeah,
what I'm just saying
waiting
is
for
that like nobody like makes it like this whole thing like it was like, oh my god, how could this happen? I think it's because Eminem is white and he's the only feature on the album.
Nah, bro.
That's
If Jay had more features on the album, this wouldn't be as and Nas in the rap.
Fuck no.
No.
You're wrong.
I'm
You're
right.
wrong. You're wrong.
I'm right. You were
You're
10
wrong.
at this time. You
Don't matter. Don't matter.
No,
You're wrong.
so I'm gonna tell you why Eminem has better verses than Jay-Z on this song. It's all about the perspective. Eminem in 2001, right? He was coming off the hottest album of his career at that time, which was Marshall Mathers LP. Marshall Mathers LP sold like over 1 million copies or some shit in the first week.
Yeah.
And he was the biggest fucking superstar. And then from his perspective,
MTV, everything.
From his perspective of how he was rapping and what he was rapping about, it just was all hitting. He was Public Enemy number one, even though he was the most popular rapper. So he was talking to people that weren't good parents. He was talking to people that
I wasn't
like,
allowed to listen to him. That's how crazy it was.
It was crazy. So like his perspective on this was great. He had humor on this. His fucking delivery on this was way better. Everything was just key that just flowed, man. It just his flow on this was just impeccable.
Yeah. It was impeccable.
And like
It was
just
great.
listening to it the other day, I'm like, damn, like he really don't rap like this no more at all. Like I don't care about an Eminem verse no more. But this right here, like you gotta give this what it is. Like he got.
Matter of fact, I would say it's a defining moment in his career.
It is
because then you let it be known, yo, I could participate with the best of them,
and that I can produce.
Yeah.
That I make beats.
Yeah.
You
No,
know?
this is his standout. This shit to me. I mean, yeah. Granted, he did come off selling them 1 million in a week, right? But it was like he got a whole new audience on this.
Yeah.
One. It was like, yo, this white boy nice. Like all that goofy shit is cool. You know what I'm saying?
They said this what is nice.
This white boy is nice.
Yeah, because
now who's the king of these rude, ludicrous, lucrative lyrics? Who can inherit the title, put the youth in hysterics, using his music to stare it, sharing his views and his merits, but there's a huge interference. They're saying you shouldn't hear it. Maybe it's hatred I spew. Maybe it's food for the spirit. Maybe it's beautiful music I made for you to just cherish. But I'm debated, disputed, hated, and viewed in America as a motherfucking drug addict. Like, you didn't experiment? Now, that part, nigga? Like, that part right there? Like, there's no debate in that.
That pen was different, bro.
That shit was
such
flowing.
a fucking homer.
That shit was
all right.
flowing.
That was a home run. that was the bases loaded.
Get it. All right, so rapper J verse right quick. Since you,
I had to hustle my back to the wall, ashy knuckles. That part?
Yeah,
The
nigga,
third
rap.
verse?
You know the verse, nigga?
I know it.
All right, let's do it.
It's good.
Sing.
I had to hustle my back to the wall, ashy knuckles, pockets filled with a lot of lint, not a cent, got a vent, lot of innocent lives lost on the project bench. What you hollering? Gotta pay rent, bring dollars in. By the bodega, iron under my coat, feeling braver, do-rag, rapping my waves up, pockets full of hope. It's not the same.
What you mean it's not the same,
Not
nigga?
the same
nigga,
butter.
you were just what?
It's not the same butter.
Nigga, yes it was.
It's good.
Nigga, it was truffle butter.
What Jada say? It's good, but it's not enough.
Oh my god.
It's
Oh
good.
my god, no. Yo, Jay held his own on this.
No,
video.
we're not saying that.
He did.
We're not saying that.
Eminem-
We're saying
so-
who had the better verse.
Okay,
There can only be one,
all
right?
Eminem had the better verse, but what I'm saying is like they're making it sound like Jay-Z didn't know it was his album.
But Jay was rapping with veins in his neck. M was rapping on some concise shit.
He was not rapping with veins in his neck.
He started off his the next verse. See, I'm a poet to some, a regular modern day Shakespeare. Like he just was flowing.
Yeah.
And it was like
it would be
effortless.
okay. Put it like this: it would be one thing if they was in the studio and they recorded together.
Mm-hmm.
That would make a difference,
That'd be worse.
huh?
That'd be worse.
No, I'm saying that would make a difference. But what I'm saying is that M did this. He did this to write Royce the 5'9". He didn't do this with the intention of doing it to Jay-Z.
No, so that goes to my hands up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did. You know what I did.
And I think Jay
You
Black
had ample amount of time.
I think Jay Black, but I think Eminem just had a better verse. He produced this song like it was. This song was his vision.
Okay, bro. At the
It was
end of the day,
his.
you asked us who had the better verse. Now you're giving us
Eminem.
excuses.
I'm not giving you excuses. Tell Eminem to step into Jay-Z's world. I guarantee.
And he called himself the new Ice Cube at the time.
You finally gonna give Cube some credit?
No, I didn't discredit Cube. That was Cube.
You also did though.
No,
You've done it in the past.
I didn't.
Whatever,
I didn't.
man. That's a whole nother conversation, man. Let's move on to the next song. I'm getting upset.
All right, man. So we'll get into the next song, which is Blueprint. Mama Loves Me. This song is such a. It takes you there. It takes you there. Like you feel everything in this song, and I feel like that was the intent.
He gets autobiography.
Yeah, that was the intent. The whole kitchen table part. When you hear the table. Like it really takes you there.
Producer
Bink. With the Al Green sample.
Sample heavy. Jesus.
Oh yeah, that's what this album.
Is expensive album.
You know what? You know what's crazy though, and that you bring that up. And I actually want to read it because I thought it was really dope. This guy, Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder had a really good caption the other day about this album. He said, "Sampling is dead, or at least that's what I was told during that time. Outside of Hot Tech, Dilla, Madlib, Pete Rock, DJ Premier, and so many others still digging and chopping up records, the mainstream at large somewhat chose to abandon the notion. Producers were becoming more in tune with their publishing rights and staying away from artists who took away a majority of their share. I chose to, however, keep digging despite what the naysayers said. On a mainstream level, it takes one album to turn things around. There may be precursors, but the one album that put soul back in mainstream hip-hop was this one. Just Blaze, Kanye, and Bing was the right cast of producers who gave Jay-Z the perfect chunky sound beds to bear his soul. Whatever energy that's his created in Baseline Studios, I had a chance to catch that energy 2 years later. Some people believe that 444 was Jay-Z's first tell-all album. I truly believe that this was the first album that he fully decided to share what he learned about the game and himself. So he goes on to, of course, acknowledge 9/11, but I thought that was really important. That and an important outlook of how people saw sampling at the time. That's why this album was considered such a risk. But
I think one thing that's really funny about a lot of people that when they talk about like Jay-Z being so private, Jay-Z's kind of an open book in a sense about things that he talks about.
Just
like,
gotta read between the lines. And
yeah, because like when people talk, like when the Dakota book came out and they were like, "Oh my God, Jay-Z shot his brother," I was like, he talked about that on his second album. Like just like little things like that, or like the apartment that he had on State Street that everybody mentions. Like, I met Jay on and I'm like, yeah, he always rapped about that. I just think that some people weren't listeners or weren't fans like us. Yeah. Because Jay-Z has always kind of like let you in a little bit, like, or like telling you, like, you wanna know what's funny? Jay-Z got that uncle that's on his shit list that he raps about on every other album. So that's the one who's
the uncle asked him to stop.
Yeah, the uncle that told him that you'll never be better than LL Cool J. Yeah. Like Jay's like, yo, he motivated you. Thank you.
Yeah, he rapped about that mad times.
He asked him to stop. The uncle, he was like, "Alright, bro."
I was wrong.
Like, damn. Sorry, bro. Stop talking about it.
But Mama Loves Me is an amazing song.
Are we gonna get into the bonus tracks?
Oh, of course, yeah. Breathe Easy, Lyrical Exercise, produced by Just Blaze. Whew. I still play this song to this day, especially like when I'm working out and shit. I play this song.
I love the interview that's played at the beginning when he's describing how like what flow is.
Oh yeah.
So like when he's describing like what flow is to the interviewer, and I believe he's like this British guy. He's like, "What's flow?" And like Jay's telling him like what it is and explaining to him like how he like what he does rap, and that like sets him apart. Is like the equivalent of like Kobe talking about, "Yo, I broke my right hand, so I learned how to shoot left handed," or some shit like that. Like the way he just went about it and like broke it down
his genius
to like a science, because some rappers like can rap really well, but like they don't understand what the ins and outs of what they're doing.
Yeah, they can't ride the beat.
Right? They don't know how to like do those things. And like Jay understands it, like, oh, okay, cool. Like I gotta make sure like I
they don't know how to use their voice as an instrument.
Exactly. So like Jay just understood that. So I just even think like the fact that like he did that interview, and then like when the beat was crafted, like Just Blaze knew I gotta put this in there. And it makes the song to me like even a bigger deal. So I'm like, damn, like, did he do that interview and then just go in a booth right afterwards? Like, it just is crazy. And then like even like as he's rapping, he's like, all right. Like he's basically like a a fitness instructor,
Yeah.
teaching you how to rap. He's like, all right, come on now, like bringing you along. Like he's like, all right, come on now breathe so you can get the next.
I mean that plays into the blueprint, right? Because as a rapper, you got to understand, how to rap. So the play on the album itself, I'm teaching you how to rap.
Yeah.
This is my blueprint. This is how I do it.
Mm-hmm.
So try your best imitation.
Exactly.
I gave you the blueprint, but you can't be him.
Mm.
So lyrical exercise, I still play it to this day. Like I said, very, very good motivator. So many different metaphors that he uses on this, and it all sticks. None of it is a stretch. Yeah, see what I did. But we'll get into the next one. Next one was Girls, Girls, Girls Part 2, which LA said that he don't like, but I happen to really like because it's a song that I always seem to forget about, and then it comes on. I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Yo, bro.
How much do you like something you forget about it?
And I know for a fact that Kanye did this song and If I Ain't Got You remix to Alicia Keys in the same session.
Really?
I'm telling you, he had to.
Damn, then he did that years prior then.
Yeah. I'm just saying, what
Let me ask you a question, Tori.
Okay, go ahead.
Earlier you said that this album didn't age well. So if you take out the cringy singles, right? Hola Ovito and Sugar That Nigga.
But I can't take them out because they're on the album.
If you exclude that, what?
I'm not doing that because I'm only talking about the album that.
So those two songs spoiled the album.
No,
to the point where
I didn't say it just was those two songs. That's what you just said.
After track 8, right? After track 8, Heart of the City, and we go all the way down. What didn't age well?
All right.
In your opinion.
I'll go through it with you. I actually wrote it down.
What didn't age well? What exactly didn't age well?
I'll tell you right now. Give me one moment. Izzo didn't age well.
Why not?
I actually said that to you 40 minutes ago.
Well, are you talking about the context? The lyrical context?
No, I don't like the beat. The song is cheesy. It didn't age well. I don't like it. Okay, how you gonna get mad at my fucking answer?
I didn't.
You just took a deep breath. Don't ask me a question and then get mad at my response. I'm giving you a response.
I don't agree with
I could have sat here and just not been like, I just don't like it. I actually gave you detail why I don't like it.
It's a nostalgic record. Maybe the age. I don't think age well is the right term. I just think it's too nostalgic.
Okay, cool.
And talking to the mic, your mouth is too far from the
Girls, 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 I don't like the hook.
Really? Now?
I don't like Jigga That Nigga. You Don't Know is a classic. I don't like Hola Jovito. Heart of the City is a classic.
Everything
Never Change is a classic.
Yeah.
Song Cry is a classic.
Okay.
All I Need classic. Renegade classic. Mama Loves Me classic. Lyrical Exercise classic. The Girls, Girls, Girls remix is a better version than the original.
Okay, so how many classic songs do you have out of the 14 tracks? You would say more than 50%?
Yeah.
So more than 50% of this album have classic songs, but in the A-Drug, can you?
Well, even some of the classic songs, they're still dated things of Jay-Z. Hold on one second, Rob. We don't have to hurry up. Stop doing that.
No.
Thanks.
Let him produce though.
Yeah, I know, but it's distracting, and
Let him
this is a
produce, though.
podcast. It's not late breakfast. There's a difference.
All right, cut this out though.
Yeah, I will.
Sure.
So, cause I'm talking, my nigga. It's
Yo, let's go, bro.
God damn. All right, so there's certain songs. All right, prime example. I'm gonna give you one song. Song Cry. Song Cry. It's a great song, right? And it takes us back, and we remember it when we were younger, but today,
it still applies. Maybe because you're part of the faithful black man society that you can't relate. That's cool. That's commendable, my brother. But
okay,
there are still niggas who gonna slip up and hear this and be like, "Damn, son."
Yeah.
And then when she go and do her own thing, and it's like, "Damn, I know I fucked up, but damn, you ain't gotta do that."
Mm-hmm.
That's still gonna hit, no matter what. But you're not resonating with that because you embody.
Yeah.
You're not there no more.
Yeah, I get that. You cooking.
Thank you, man.
So yeah, when you step out of you step out of your current situation and you see that, for what it is.
Yeah, that still transcends.
Man. Yeah, it still transcends.
I mean, a couple years later, Neo comes out with the same song with Ghostface, right?
Mm-hmm. Back Like That.
Yeah, and they use that key line. You don't gotta get the nigga back. It's still gonna apply.
Yeah.
As men, we're selfish. because that goes into the whole concept of we don't cheat off of feelings, we cheat
Toxic.
exactly.
Toxic niggas
Okay,
need
It's
answers
still-
too.
yeah,
All right,
facts.
so I have the proper verbiage, right? All right. So all I'm saying is just that, like and I said this earlier in the podcast, where Jay-Z is at right now in life, knowing that he's grown. So me knowing that he's grown, when I listen to the album, it doesn't feel the same because I know that the person that's rapping the lyrics is a different person. So what I'm just saying is that it's a timestamp for me.
So do we do that with
So
every
that's
artist?
I was just
Yeah.
gonna say that's the gift and the curse of growth as an artist.
But I'm not. It is a gift and curse, and I just said to you, prime example. If I listen to a Rakim album, Rakim is still fucking dressing and thinking the same and doing the same. And I'm not saying it's a slight to Jay-Z, but what I'm just saying is just that, like, damn, like, I appreciate 444 even more. Or like sometimes whenever, like, that's why I'm always looking forward to a new album. I don't ever want a new Rakim album.
I think Song Cry could go on 444.
Song Cry could go on 444, but there's certain things he would have to say differently.
Oh yeah,
But I mean, 444.
But the same context.
But the song,
say he was fucking them girls on 444.
But
he did in a sense of 444.
You know what he said? He said the most subtle shit ever. He said, a
You
woman
did
should
what
never.
with who?
No. He said another woman should never know a secret before you.
Yeah.
Like that's how PCJ is now. It went from
But
I
that's
was just
because
fucking
of
them
time.
girls to I'll never share another secret with you.
You know what I'm saying? But
Think about that.
But he said the same thing in a sense where he kind of played off the conversation with him and B, and he was like, "You did what with who?" You know what I'm saying? That's him. That's her saying, You was fucking who?"
You did what to Blue?
Yeah, exactly. She put it on the kid, so it's kind of like
That was a dirty move on Beyonce part.
that's your worst time out.
I mean,
Taurian.
I don't know if it's dirty. It's all perspective, man.
But kind of it's like, yo, you was willing to risk your family.
What if Blue
for
grows up to be like, yo, you know what, Dad? It's not that crazy that she was doing out here like that.
That's no here nor there, but
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Song Cry fits on that. I think it transcends. It's always gonna be a classic.
Okay.
Because there's always gonna be a nigga
that's
who's
what
gonna
I'm saying.
fuck up. He gonna lose the best thing that ever happened to him.
Song Cry can't fit because it's an openly emotional album. It's an openly emotional album, and Song Cry isn't that. Song Cry, he's literally saying, I can't see it coming down my eyes. Like, so you're gonna hear this sample cry. Because I'm not crying.
Well,
but on 444,
Nigga cry.
Yeah, he cried.
he's openly, it's for that, you know?
And I also think that this is it's funny, right? So Certified Lover Boy is talking about toxic. Like
He wrote that in his description.
That it's an album about celebrating toxic masculinity.
He didn't say celebrate. Words is important.
Okay, toxic masculinity was in this song.
Yeah. Was.
And I
He didn't
think
say
that
celebrate.
the Blueprint album is also not toxic masculinity, but like basically like a man's like putting his flag in the ground, saying that I'm here. It's like staking his claim to like everything, to being the ultimate alpha male in music.
Which is why I told you I think Drake
Almost.
listened to that album and tried to recreate.
and amongst his
His
peers. You know, so it was kind of like, no homo, Jay-Z took his dick out and put it on the table. So, no pun intended, Jay-Z took his dick out and put it on the table and said, I'm here. That's essentially what he did.
So how do you, when you were 13, right? Allegedly. Where did you have this album? Sorry.
When I said it was a classic.
Okay, at 35, allegedly. Where do you have this album now? Still a classic or it's a great album?
I still think, I never said it's not a classic, I just said it's an age well. It's not at where it's at.
Can a classic album not age well? Can those two coexist?
I think so.
Okay. I asked to just say your perspective.
It's okay.
Because I think albums can downgrade to a great, a classic to, you know what, it's just a great album. Or it's a good album. But if you feel like a classic can not age well, then by all means, this is your world. I'm just living in it, baby.
All right, so we did come into this already knowing what the ratings would be, but we kind of just wanted to update our outlooks on this, right? So we do still agree that this is a classic album, right?
Yeah, because I don't take those two corny ass songs because at the time you gotta also think about we're in the year 2021,
Right.
and this is a 2001 album, so sometimes you gotta give the grace of knowing, yo, they made this album in the time. Like, I don't think every song got to be futuristic where it has to be 20 years old and still slap. So if 2 of those songs out of the 14 or 15 didn't do that, but the rest did, hell yeah, you still could remain a classic. Do I think it's his best album? No, but, you know, I also think me being a 10-year-old hearing this, I thought this was the best shit since my mother's cooking.
I thought it was too.
But you was a lot older, you know, experienced.
I mean, but I still feel like I've always stood on the fact that Reasonable Doubt is his best album, his best.
Yeah, I'm never gonna go against an artist saying what their best album was. So if he says his best album is Reasonable Doubt, I'm not gonna argue with him. He made it. So
and he
that's
came out the gate making that album. Like, that's another thing. Like, that's impressive to me. Like, his first album was Reasonable Doubt.
Okay, that's true. But then
artists always say you had your whole life to make your first album. So
that's what I'm saying. So in the beginning of this episode, you said that you thought he was cold. So to make this being cold as hell is also maybe just as impressive as the first album, because it's like, yo, your back is against the ropes. You know, if this doesn't hit, it may be over for you. So for to do that, it's kind of like, you know, you down 3-1 and you come back and you win, because essentially game 1 win was Reasonable Doubt. Then, you know, Dynasty was probably the L.
It was the perfect storm for Jay. People were doubting him and counting him out. Critics were like ripping into him, right? So the Dynasty and Volume 3 both got ripped.
Can we have fun?
All right, just let me finish this.
All right.
Then, like I said, like the entire summer, like he was like running up on things, even though other artists were still like all over the charts. And then, you know what I'm saying, like he was having like the time, like at this time, like it was at the pinnacle. Like it was like he was the leader of the Rat Pack. So I think, like, you know, he was really at like in like his best shape. You know how sometimes like in your athletic life, like you be like, yo, this was the best shape I've been in my life. Like Blueprint, I think he was in the best shape of his rap career.
He was in great shape.
He was in his best, like in his best form. You know, but I just, like I said, it's just certain things that are just dated, and you know, it's okay. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I just think that, you know, it's, you know, certain songs.
We can't talk Blueprint without Takeover Ether. 20 years later.
Yeah.
Ether, I'll be honest with you, Ether also takes away from the lore of Blueprint.
I was waiting for somebody to say that.
You think it takes away from it?
A little bit.
It adds to it.
Nah, it does. Because like Jay-Z could have walked away to victor. All right, Jay-Z messed up. He made Super Ugly, right?
Yeah,
and then the Blueprint 2 was him. Even though he got at Nas on Blueprint 2, it was too late. And then he spent the Blueprint 2 responding to Nas again. He made a whole double disc album and sending shots, responding to Nas again. So you could tell how bothered he was. Nas made Stillmatic and was done.
I was just gonna say, yeah. they mirror each other a lot.
Nas made Stillmatic and was done.
Well, he had shit here and there.
Yeah, but
you already know who I'm better than. That whole shit with Lil Jon.
Yeah, but that was on somebody else's song. I'm talking about like dedicate an album. It really got into Jay. Like, it took. I'm telling you, it took away from the lore of that shit. It really did.
I think it adds to it because from now, speaking from the perspective of now, I think the hype of Ether, when you look at when Ether came out, I think that was like 6 months after Takeover. That's when niggas didn't really have timestamps on response records. Like now you drop a song, it's like, yo, respond. Now,
that the other day.
Right? So Nas was able to take his time. I think Takeover, when you listen to it now, it's just a better record. It's aged so much better. It's a better record because you listen to it from a perspective of like Hov being a fan of Nas, being a disappointed fan in Nas. Being a disappointed fan, breaking down his catalog the way that he did. It's just over, and he gave him one verse. You know?
Two of them was due.
Yeah. You listen to it and it's like, when you think of Takeover, you think about Nas, but it's really just that one verse. he alludes to him, and then in like I think the second verse, and then the third verse is just about him. Then the fourth verse he wraps it up, but it's like it was just smoke for everybody that he was fucking with at the time.
It was smoke for Queens.
Yeah. so when you listen to it,
I think he the reason why that Brooklyn Queens shit had a lot of friction, bro.
and it's so out the gate. Like the Ruler's back and then Take Over. It's like two aggressive songs.
Power punches,
Power punches, and then he
it's like you try to win to the knockout of the album.
This is like in a lot of ways, Drake is looking at this literally as his blueprint. In a lot of ways.
You break down Certified Lover Boy, I think.
And I don't think it's Certified Lover Boy per se. I think just in the way that he moves in his career.
Wait, hold on. Let me before this becomes a snippet, and I know how Taurian does the editing, so I'm gonna save myself here. I'm not calling Certified Lover Boy Blueprint. Anyway.
Too late.
I think, well, I got the soundbite. If you take this out, matter of fact, let me record myself saying this shit. By no way, shape, or form do I think Certified Lover Boy is Drake's blueprint. I think he heard the album or maybe listening to an album trying to find some sort of inspiration, and you could see that it was an approach to emulate that. Did he succeed? No. I'm going to record myself saying that. Did he succeed? No. But I do think somewhere down the line, this was playing while he made that album.
But this is the type of shit. This is the type of shit that Drake does though, where like he'll diss somebody, he'll make a very heavy lyrical song, and he follows it up with a potential single.
Yep.
Like he does that. Like back when Charged Up came out, Hotline Bling came out.
Yep.
You know? So he's known for shit like that. And I think this is his playbook right here.
All right. So yeah. So both of y'all still say that Blueprint.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
This is a classic.
For sure.
I agree. It's a classic. 5 out of 5 waffles. I'm not wavering from that. I just feel that I'm allowed to say that something is dated. It's more of a timestamp. And all right, I'll give you the difference. I can tell you why Reasonable Doubt is better than Blueprint.
And nobody's gonna debate that with you.
But I can tell you why though. So
who asked?
Because you're making a face, so I can tell you why.
Yeah, because how does somebody get 5 waffles and out of the waffles is spoiled?
It's not spoiled.
You said 2 of the songs are dated, so you can't eat the whole batch of waffles. It's something I hold on it, right?
There's an explanation, and I told you that the reason.
And your explanation is not valid.
Because they're dated. No, because they're dated. Reasonable Doubt can come out at any time, and the album's going to hit, and it's going to invoke the feeling of it being a classic rap album. Is what I'm saying. But the Blueprint was very much of that time. That's just like a disco album, bro. If you had disco, you could be like, yo, this is a classic album. But, I don't think that this album will be able to come out in 1990 when...
So you telling me Blueprint wouldn't be able to come out right now? 20 years later?
No.
You bugging.
It had the same impact that it did? No.
You bugging.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. This is your world, baby. This is your world, baby.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm glad you
obviously some things would change. References would change.
Maybe context, yeah.
References, yes.
I think Reasonable Doubt could come out today the way that it is, not a word changed.
Reasonable Doubt has 5 waffles to you, right?
Yeah.
And this same album that you saying gotta change, there's those same 5 waffles?
Yeah, because
one is blueberry and one is just plain, right? Because it can't be the same waffle.
They were sipping Cristal a lot on the first one. They don't fuck with that one.
Well, I mean, it would be Ace of Spades. Okay, cool. Instead of saying Cristal, let's say it's Spades. Can you be a technical?
I mean, you said not a word. So.
Okay, I'm sorry. All right. So maybe changes the names of certain liquors and certain brands of clothes. Okay, cool.
I'm just saying, like, if something's a 5 here. How could and you're saying that's flawless?
Because it's
Let me talk.
Go ahead, talk then. Go ahead.
If something is flawless, 5 waffles. That's what we giving. This same thing that you're literally nitpicking like a baby. I don't want this. This got changed. This got changed. Get the same 5 waffles as the other flawless. I do. I don't got Jigga That Nigga, and I don't got Ola Ovito.
So you don't think every song on the album is flawless either?
No, I didn't say that though. I'm going based off of your grading scale.
But you said it's a 5 out of 5, right?
No, I didn't give a waffle. I didn't even know you used waffles.
Yeah, we use waffles.
So that's how I know I did.
But I'm just saying, you said 5. So you don't think Blueprint's 5 out of 5?
No. Maybe 4.5, 4.7.
Right, did I not say 5 out of 5 and LaShawn said yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Maybe you just
No,
didn't
you
hear
didn't.
me.
Oh, my fault.
Okay,
You said
cool.
5 out of 5.
But I'm going based off of your scale. Your scale is giving up one album that's flawless, the same shit as another album that you picking at.
It's differences.
All right, that's what I said. We in your world, baby.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you know where you at.
Yeah, on this podcast though. As soon as this
saying-
mic come off, I'm not in your world no more. Fuck out of
My
here.
point is that some people like me, like this is what are we up to? Like episode? Are we at 200 yet? So out of the episodes that we've done, people have told me that there's different classic albums.
Yeah,
so
for
I'm
sure.
just going by what I've been argued down and told.
Yeah, but we're going classic albums with the same person's catalog. So we could say I could say Chingy has a classic, but I would never compare it to a Jay-Z classic. We're
Ain't got no damn.
He do.
I'm-
Jackpot is classic.
I'm comparing. What I'm saying is that like Jay-Z's flawless album to me, his magnum opus, as one would say, is
Yeah.
Reasonable Doubt.
Right. So if that's a 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so are you saying that Blueprint can hold a candle to Reasonable Doubt?
I don't think so. No.
So how is it getting the same 5?
Because it's a classic album.
All right, Tori, you got it, baby. Listen, I'm literally asking to understand. I'm listening to understand.
All right.
I'm not
Okay.
listening
Let me
to
ask you a question.
no,
Do you
I'm
think
asking
that? Do
to
you think that
understand.
Drake has more than one classic album?
Yes.
Okay. What are the 2 classic albums? Give me 2 classic albums.
I
from Drake.
actually got 3 from him.
Okay, but give me 2.
Nothing Was the Same and Take Care.
Which one is better?
Me personally,
Mhm.
Take Care is my personal favorite.
So why the fuck am I not allowed to do the same thing that you just did?
I'm not calling them both a 5 though. That's the difference.
A classic has to be a 5.
No, it don't.
Did you not read the source growing up?
So what? Yo, bro, so we're going off for what somebody else is saying?
No. What I'm saying is that
Yeah, but
a
okay.
classic album.
A classic has to be a 5?
Okay, so
Yes.
by that definition, right? Because we've said on here before, I think you've said on here before that a classic is a flawless project, and I think I argued with you on this before about a classic being a flawless project.
Okay, and you being my brother, I respected what you said. So I said, all right, cool. Like if y'all want to be more lean, if y'all want to be less heavy-handed, I'm just going by what you did. So I'm like, all right, then okay, Blueprint's a classic because that's a consensus. That's something that
But
I can
fuck
argue
the
to the
consensus. That's not fair.
You saying fuck the
Because that's
consensus?
group thinking.
But then
This
for you,
we're here
But
to
what I'm
give
saying is
individual
that
points.
I've argued with Regg on here plenty of times, and like I just want to happen to be quiet and just sit here. Is my point, and just sit
So
here. and
eat your
just take
food,
shit.
bro. Finish your breakfast.
You saying finish my breakfast, but my point is that like there have been times where like I have been argued with and told, yo, Taurian, nah, you can't. You too hard on albums. Every song gotta be the song that you want. But what I'm saying is that if that's what I'm being told by majority, right? And it's like I'm like,
Nah,
all right,
we
cool,
don't
maybe
group
I have
think here.
singular. Like no, I'm saying if I have singular thinking, the point that I'm making is if I say that something's not a classic because I don't give it a 5 out of 5, right? Or it's not every single song like it has no skips or something like that. And the guy is saying like, nah, I can have some imperfect albums where I might have a skip or 2.
Yeah.
Right? So then I'm just like, all right, cool. This is what my niggas say. All right, cool. This is what they say in the classic.
But I feel like a classic can have some imperfections.
Okay, cool. So that's what I'm saying. And this is
Like
what they
there's
said.
some Basquiat paintings, right? That people adore.
So all I'm doing is agreeing with y'all niggas and saying, cool. Hov has 2 classic albums. It's just that Reasonable Doubt is better.
You know what they say now? You know you don't have to put 2 bad bitches against each other.
that's what they say.
That's what
You
they
know
say.
that statement actually eases me a lot because when I
But
see
you
when I
doing
see
it though.
when I
You
see-
keep
I'm not.
questioning what I'm saying. You keep questioning what we. All right, there's an extra 10 minutes on this episode that wasn't necessary.
Yeah, that was you arguing with Rob. That was unnecessary.
It was you. I said, hey, I think that the Blueprint is a classic album, 5 out of 5. Why?
All right, so let me
question
bring us back in. We all agree that this is a classic, right?
Yes, but I was
So
just
then
trying
we
to
just
figure out
go-
his grading scale. That's
Yeah,
it.
Okay.
That's
Well-
it. Because like in school, if a teacher gives me 100 on a report card, right? Cool. And then the next person gets a 98. And
198 are both A pluses, right?
right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But you're making it seem like both these albums are 100. They're not. What? Or if one is a 95 and I get 100, how the fuck they get the same average as me? It's impossible.
Bro.
So I'm saying you could have a
Okay, so look, in 2001, to me, there was not a better album that came out than Blueprint in that year, and I feel like that.
Well, we doing Reasonable Doubt, and I don't give a fuck what anybody else did.
Okay, but what I'm just saying is just that, like, yes, Blueprint is Jay-Z's second best album.
That's right.
Right. So Reasonable Doubt is his best album.
That's right. I'm with you.
Right. They're both classic albums.
I'm with you.
And I'm allowed to say that both are 5 out of 5.
How though? How if we just spent how much time? An hour and 20 minutes, and you nitpicked. You got notes and shit, bro. You nitpicked at this shit. So how is it the same flawless? If we did Reasonable Doubt, you wouldn't.
I didn't say it was flawless. I just said that the album.
You didn't say Reasonable Doubt is flawless.
No, I didn't say that Blueprint. Well, Reasonable Doubt is flawless.
Right. So how are you saying this flawless work is the same 5 as something that you nitpicked? That's all I'm asking. It's
not the same 5, but what I'm just saying is that.
So is it a 4.9, a 4.8?
No, it's a 5.
And we averaging to 5?
It's a 5.
Ha, you know what? This nigga Tory reinvented math, boy. Cause I ain't know there was 2 5s, boy. And I'm from 55th.
I mean, that was a good analogy, but like I said, like.
All right, so we got our different rating systems, but we all agree.
Yeah, it's classic. Yeah, I didn't know. That's my first time really hearing that there could be a flawless 5 and an imperfected 5. I didn't know that.
Drake has a bunch of imperfected 5s.
Shit, if you want to be honest with you, I don't think Drake has a 5. I think he's still working for that. Or maybe he don't care, but this ain't about Drake. This ain't about Drake. I don't want to make it about Drake.
He don't care no more. He going gold that first week every album he put out. He don't care no more.
Yeah,
But
yeah, so we gonna wrap this up, man. Blueprint still classic. 20 years later, new perspectives, new thoughts on the tracks, but we all can still agree on that. I have been First Class Regg,
and I'm Taurian B,
and we are out of here.
So see you later.
Give me your fucking money!